All right, Kwab, it's time for our power rankings. Let's do this. Listen, if you're listening to the show or watching on YouTube, make sure to comment below. Let us know where you think we went wrong. Let us know your power rankings and let us know who you think we overrate and underrate. Kwab and I would be gladly to respond to you. Kwab, you ready to do this?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
All right, first off, team not mentioned. If you've been following the show, you know how difficult this is for me. The New York Knicks are not on here. I just had to say that to kind of like brush off Knick fans who watched this show and text me. I didn't put him in the shit. They didn't make it, guys. They didn't make it. You can blame the refs for that in Houston.
Oh my god, the Knicks are on a little bit of a losing streak. It happens. You can factor in because of injuries, but also that Houston game was probably one of the worst ref games I've ever seen, and one of the worst calls I've ever seen.
It was the worst ref. It honestly was the worst ref game at totality that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
A lot of people on NBA Twitter are mentioning because they see just that part, but people didn't watch that whole game. That was one of the worst officiating games I've ever seen in my life. And I don't mean to say salty. I don't think the refs had money on the Rockets. I don't think anything like that. I just think sometimes the game doesn't go your way, and that was one of the games where the refs just didn't favor the Knicks for whatever reason. They didn't see calls, but regardless, it was one of the worst officiated games I've ever seen. Kwab, sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're right. No, you got to get. Look, I rather you say it than hold it in and be even more frustrated about it happening.
Had to let it out.
It was
had
bad.
To let it out.
It was bad. I think it was bad, and I think the one thing I always say, and it also applied to that game, is that I shouldn't know referees' names. I shouldn't know. I don't watch the NBA to know about I know too much about referees moving forward. Why? No, really. We take a quick step back and look at this. Right? Why do we all know who Scott Foster is?
It's a good point.
Why
he hasn't been dead against Chris Paul apparently?
You know what I'm saying? Why do we all know who?
And Malloy,
the referee. We watch the NBA. I always joke about this, but I think the NBA is the best drama on television. The referees are side characters that just move the story along. They shouldn't be controlling the story. I should not know the name of the side characters and their attributes. Early on in the season, this happened, and we didn't get a chance to talk about this, was when the Raptors coach, after they lost to the Lakers, went on a rant, and he ended up getting fined for it. And a lot of Raptors fans, their initial reaction wasn't, "Oh man, this is crazy." It was, "Damn, there goes Ben Taylor again." And I'm like, "Who's Ben Taylor?" I look it up, and there's a Ben Taylor. There's breakdowns of how Ben Taylor has screwed the Raptors multiple times. And I'm like, "Yo, what is going on?" This past game that happened with the Knicks is the ref Goebel, who apparently was the same ref on the baseline when LeBron went up for that layup and he got fouled against the Celtics and they had that big meltdown, which is one of the most funniest clips ever. I shouldn't know referees' names. I shouldn't know that. I shouldn't know again, another referee that was in that game, Eric Lewis, that ended up, I guess he doesn't work for the NBA anymore because he was from Boston. I shouldn't know that. I shouldn't know that Goebel was a former police officer in Miami for 10 years, and every time he refs the Heat games, Miami wins. I shouldn't know that. I know that now. I don't know if the NBA has a problem.
We got Miami PD on the fucking.
They have Miami PD on the, and I forget, and I'm drawing a blank right now. But there's another ref who was trying to be a judge. He's trying.
I saw that clip.
Yeah, he's trying to be a judge. It's yo, bro, we gotta. I'm not saying that the NBA has a problem, but it's slowly creeping towards that where we're like, yo, please make sure that the side characters don't become the show. We're not watching the NBA. You know what I mean? They should stay on the side. I'm not watching NBA to watch. I'm not watching to watch the technical forms. I'm not watching that, bro. Clear that shit up. That shouldn't happen. That's one of the worst calls I've ever seen against the Knicks. That was bad. That was bad. I'm not a Knicks fan. And I was I watched that game. I was like, yo, what is happening this whole game?
That might have been the worst end of the game call I've ever seen in my life.
Ever seen.
Aaron Brooks was fading backwards.
The man did a turn.
He with one hand, like fucking Derek Jeter, throwing a first base, bro.
I mean, and I don't want to. And the bad thing about it, like, it takes away calls like that. Take away from like a game where like a bunch of cool, like Aaron Holiday had a great game. Like there was a stretch where he was like killing y'all, but
no, he was great.
He was great.
Fantastic.
But like, after, like, but it's just like at the same time, we
Jalen
made
Brunson
the side characters the main
Jalen
story.
Brunson goes there straight like Jalen Brunson looked like Jeffrey when Uncle Phil kicks him out the house.
No.
But like he was going straight up, you know what I mean? It was like,
and he turned, and I'm like, look, maybe like the NBA has to change the rule where like end the game calls, maybe they become reviewable, something like that becomes reviewable, and then they fix that.
Yeah.
But like that was crazy. But that's my little rant on the refs. That's all I had to say. Like, I don't want to know. Right. I don't want to know y'all names. I don't care. I'm not watching for y'all. Please don't be bigger than the game. That's crazy.
All right, here we go. Let's get to our power rankings, man. Coming in at number 10, it's the Dallas Mavericks. Winners of 7 straight after the trade deadline. They get PJ Washington. They get Gafford from the Washington Wizards. I think just what the doctor ordered. I love Lively, but you can set him to the bench. Now you have depth there at that position. I think PJ Washington feels a need of a scorer or someone on the wing who can create on his own as well. Fantastic job done by Mark Cuban and company there. I do think that they have drastically improved. I don't think this is a mirage. Now, I'm not saying they're a contender, but I think they're a team that you kind of have to take seriously now and look forward to in the playoffs. And I think it wouldn't surprise me if going forward, they're in our top 10. So shout out to Dallas Mavericks. Quab, what do you think of their deals?
Yeah, I agree with you completely. They've been on a nice win streak. They're the other team during the trade deadline. I was like, whoa, those are perfect fits. Bringing another lob catcher in onto your team with when you have a generational passer like Luka and even Kyrie just improves your team greatly. And like you said, PJ Washington is another scorer to help the team. So basically trading Grant Williams, who wasn't a good fit apparently, and getting PJ Washington. I just wanted to put that in there. Wasn't a good fit, and getting PJ Washington, getting Gafford. That's just they look like they're trending up. So hopefully. I know they're trying to get out of the play-in, so it's a strong possibility. It's just a loaded West right now. So,
yeah. Did I say Blake Lively? I hope I didn't say Blake Lively. I said Derek Lively. If I said Blake,
no, you said Derek Lively. They both they both could probably like really athletic.
I don't know why I had like that. I call him Blake. That would be embarrassing. All right, let's move on to number 9. It's the New Orleans Pelicans moving up 1 spot. This team has won 6 of 7, including one against the Los Angeles Clippers, which is a very impressive victory. We said it last week that we wouldn't be surprised if they beat anybody in the West, and we wouldn't be surprised if they lose anyone in the West, but they're keeping up right now holding the 6th seed, so they're avoiding the play-in. I think 9 feels good, Quab. Anything to add?
Yeah, no, it feels perfect. They annoy the F out of me. They just really do. Like, that team annoyed because they can be the number 1 team in the West, and then they can be like out of the playoffs. Like they're that talented, and then that also that inconsistent. So, yeah, 9 is a perfect fit for them moving forward.
All right, coming in at number 8, we have the Milwaukee Bucks. They beat the Denver Nuggets and then decide to lose to the Jimmy Butler-less Miami Heat by 40 the next. Like, what the fuck is this, bro?
And then lose to Memphis. And lose to Gigi Jackson. Lose to Gigi Jackson and the Grizzlies. So,
I mean, we talk about this ad nauseum, so we don't have to break it down, but Jesus Christ, what? Get it together. Get it together, Milwaukee. Can you just please? This is insane.
Gosh. So annoying.
Coming in at number 7, we got the Phoenix Suns coming in at number 7. If you listened to the last episode of The Dime, you heard how high I am on Kevin Durant going forward into the second half of the season. Right now, they're the 5th seed at 33-22. They have won 5 out of their last 6, including against the Bucks and Sacramento and the newly formed Detroit Pistons. Only thing that concerns me with them is that, a lot of their offense is based off of just like shot making and pull up jumpers, which doesn't sound like it's a big deal, but to me it kind of is. Like, you don't really get too many easy shots. You're like relying on greatness every freaking night, and you do have great players, but just don't know how far that's going to take you. Anything to add to that, Club?
Yeah, I liked the trade they made, the deadline, getting Royce O'Neal and also adding Thaddeus Young. like you said, they're predicated on a lot of shot making. So they're that if everybody's healthy, like because Bradley Beal has been in and out the lineup. So is Booker sometimes, but he's been playing
Yeah.
consistently. But like matching up against them in the playoffs is going to be hard for any team, just because you have 3 elite scorers and also very high level shot makers with like the Grayson Allens, there are Gordons that are still on the team. So yeah, I completely
Yeah.
agree with you. Also moving forward.
All right, coming in number 6, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves, winners of 5 of 6, including games at Los Angeles against the Clippers, and I believe at Milwaukee as well. So shout out to the Timberwolves who have, I wouldn't say turned it around. That's unfair to them. They did come back down to earth a little bit after their hot start, but they've never really slumped too much.
Yeah.
But starting to show that, hey, like we're here. We're going to be reckoned with. So they got Monte Morris, who was the first athlete I've ever interviewed, by the way. So shout out to Monte,
Oh, very
one of my
nice.
favorite college players of all time, but a solid backup point guard who just does his job. And, Mike Conley has struggled here and there this year. I'm not saying he's Mike Conley insurance, but he's a nice backup point guard to have, some depth there. Kwab, your thoughts on the T-Wolves?
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, getting Monte Morris was very solid for them. Just gives them just a consistent like point guard to just right the ship. Like just having again another adult in the room just to make sure when things are seem to be going kind of crazy can just settle them down and just proceed forward.
Right.
I like them a lot. I just think they're just really Gobert has been playing really well defensively and it's a star. He's Michael Jordan's son, the real Michael Jordan's son, not Jimmy Butler.
All right, moving on. We have the Cleveland Cavaliers coming in at number 5, which honestly, for a team that's like 18-2 in their past 20 games, just kind of feels disrespectful. For me, I just can't get over the way the Knicks beat them last year, if I'm being completely honest with you. And when I think of like the Knicks, even though the Knicks aren't on here right now, it's mostly because they've lost games without their roster even playing. And we go with power rankings based on how the team's been playing. But it's hard for me to picture the Cavs being contenders just based off of the way the Knicks handled them last year. I can't get over that. Maybe they'll be higher in the power rankings going forward. They continue to play the way they played. But shout out to Donovan Mitchell, who I think is having an under the radar MVP campaign. Garland's back. Moby's black. There, Moby's black. Yes, he's a black man. But definitely a team that you have to take seriously. And maybe last year was a fluke. Who knows? Shout out to the Cavs. Bob, what do you think?
No, I like the Cavs, man. I feel like to your point, people like still see them as the same team that lost to the Knicks last year, but I feel like they made certain moves that changed them around, and also they started doing the thing which I was annoyed about them watching them like last year. They weren't playing fast. They play faster now. They have better shooting around the team. It's just to have better lineup versatility, like so they can go big. They can push shooters like Sam Merrill and George Niang, and they also have Max Strus. So it's just they addressed the one thing that kind of affected them during that playoff series was they didn't have a lot of shooting on the floor. Even Isaac Okoro is shooting better this year compared to previous years. So I see them as they're low key a contender. They keep moving up. I think are they currently two in the East right now?
Yeah, the second seed right now. And I honestly think what's preventing people like you, well, not you, but people like me and the national media actually, giving them their props is the way the Knicks beat them last year. I really do think that like put a sour taste in everybody's mouth. And if you're a Cavs fan watching this right now, you see us having them at 5, you can make the case they could be above the next maybe couple teams that we're about to say.
Yeah.
So, I mean, shout out to the Cavs. They've been playing well. There's no denying it. They're the second best team in the East right now, in my opinion. Coming in at number 4, we got the Denver Nuggets. They have lost 3 in a row to close out the All-Star break. It's kind of weird talking about a team that's like 18-2 in their last 20 and then going to the Nuggets who have lost 3 straight and saying, well, this team deserves a higher spot. But to me, it's hard for me to like, there still has to be some type of like, well, this is who they are. Like, you know what I mean? I think the Nuggets are a better team than the Cavs. I don't think that's debatable, in my opinion. So they come in at number 4. Not really worried about them. Kwab, anything to say about them?
No. No.
Okay.
No, I agree with you completely. Yeah.
Yeah. So we went to number 3. It's the Los Angeles Clippers. We did have them at the 1 spot earlier. Moved down 2 spots to number 3. They almost caught an L against the Warriors, but they turned it around. 4th quarter comeback there. I think they're a team to be reckoned with. Kawhi's hurt right now, so we'll see how they manage to move on without him for a short time, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And to me, as long as everyone's healthy in the playoffs, I think they're the one team that can challenge the Nuggets in a 7-game series. They sit at number 3 for now.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, even without Kawhi didn't play against the Warriors, right? I think he was out. He was out
Correct.
that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and even then, they were still able to make the comeback. They just have so many great pieces on the floor with your size and your shot makers. Like you said, if everybody's healthy, it will be interesting to see how they look moving forward. And if this is the year James Harden can make the finals and
We'll
not
see,
have
man.
one of those weird
We'll
playoff
see, man.
games.
We'll see.
We'll see.
All right, coming in at number 2, it's the Oklahoma City Thunder right now, sitting at the 2 seed in the Western Conference. This is a team that's young, that's exciting. I think they have like literally everything that you could want in a team. They pick up Gordon Hayward at the deadline, who I guess it's a good deal. I think they needed more like rim protection and a bigger body,
They
but they settled
signed
for Gordon Hayward.
they signed Bismack Biyombo.
Bismack Biyombo. Yeah, they signed Biyombo, but to me, I don't know if that moves the needle too much in one direction. To me, I don't know how I'm going to feel picking them in the playoffs, but I think regular season wise, they definitely deserve to be up here. Still kind of figuring out like 7-game series, what my mindset's going to be. I got to watch a little more of them. If I'm not going to lie. Anything you want to add there?
Do you think that SGA is the MVP?
I think he has a case for sure, 1,000%. Jokic is up there as well.
Mm.
I honestly thought Jalen Brunson had a case, like a real case.
Yeah,
but I think actually Donovan Mitchell has kind of snuck up a little bit with the way the Cavs are playing.
Okay.
Especially with Garland going out and Mobley going out, and people were thinking that, oh, this might be the Cavs losing streak where they trade Donovan Mitchell at the deadline, and all of a sudden it's like, oh no, they are playing out of their freaking minds, and
Right.
Donovan does it without arguably their second and third best player. So I think you got to give him a lot of credit for that.
Oh, very true. Yeah, going back to the Thunder. Yeah, they're a fun young team. SGA is playing amazing. Jalen Williams has been playing out of his mind.
Yep.
For a second-year player, he's looked great, and even Chet has been playing well too. So I want to see how they look in the playoffs for all these young players. I think getting Gordon Hayward is a solid pickup because you just have a vet that knows how to finish games and just gives you another player you can throw up in the lineup to help. So yeah, I think with them it depends on matchups, but I also feel like they can beat any team. They're capable of beating any team in the playoffs also.
Yeah, I just wish, I know they got Bismack, but I was kind of expecting them to make a bigger splash here in the center. I mean, Gordon Hayward, he fits into Oklahoma City. I don't know if he fits into the Thunder, but he definitely fits into Oklahoma City as a city, and I think he'll feel right.
What do you mean by that, brother? I quite don't understand what you're trying to say.
You know exactly what I'm trying to say. Coming at number 1 is the Boston Celtics, another city that Gordon Hayward played for and fit right into. I think they're the best team in the league right now. We do mention their, I guess, flaw in the sense of their late game offense, but they're still kicking the crap out of teams and have the best record in the league. So how can we not say they're not the best team in the league and number 1 in the power rankings going into the All-Star break? Really not much else to say. Kwab.
Yeah, I mean, I had to turn the TV off because they beat my team by 50.
I forgot about
yeah,
that. Are you okay? Are you okay?
That was crazy. I was like, oh, this is crazy. I gotta go. I was like, yeah, I gotta go mop my carpet. I gotta turn this off or something. I gotta go sweep my carpet. Yeah, they're still the number 1 team in the East. Like I said, that's crazy. That's another team that Gordon Hayward played for. So Gordon Hayward went from Utah to Boston to Charlotte to Oklahoma. But never mind. Yeah, we spoke previously about how we feel like Boston has a chance of obviously making the finals just because of your lineup and how talented they are. But we don't think it's like we still see a couple of flaws in them, but they're still the best team in the East, looking like the best team overall in the league. So just because of how they're put together. Yeah, so we have them on number 1 right now until like something crazy happens, but I don't think anything is going to happen. I think they're going to be consistent until the end of the season.
All right, well, that's going to do it for our power rankings. If you like what you saw, or if you don't like what you saw, leave a comment below, leave a hot take below, leave a question below, leave your rankings below. We want to hear your 1 through 10 and why we are wrong, or if you agree with us. Who knows? But until then, we'll catch you next week for another episode of The Dime.